Welcome to the second part of this video series. In the previous video, we discussed the prerequisites of BAO 7901 installer along with the concept of RSSO. Now let's proceed with the installation. On this server, I'll be installing Atrium Orchestrator Repository Manager with embedded RSSO. I have already downloaded the copy of installer file and placed it onto the server. Let's extract the installer now. Once extracted, go to the extracted directory. Now run the setup file as an administrator. Click OK button. Click Next. Accept the license agreement. Hit Next. As we are performing a fresh installation of BAO, so select the first radio button. Click Next. On this screen, you can select only one option at a time. In order to run other components, you need to rerun the installer. So select the repository, click Next. This is the default location where repository will be installed. Click Next. Over here, it's asking for the port on which the repository service will be deployed. I will use the startup port as 28080. Click on Edit Ports. Based on the startup port we have provided, the installer has automatically picked up the shutdown port. Click Next. Here we are going to use embedded RSSO. So select the first radio button. Our cookie domain is bmc.com. Click on Advanced Options. Our repository manager service will be deployed using the service name BAO repo. We are going to use HTTPS protocol for our repository installation. For repository host name, provide your fully qualified domain name. Repository HA field is basically the IP address and port used by RSSO. In my case, the system has automatically picked up the appropriate IP address and port. On Windows Server, you can find the IP address information using ipconfig command. Click on Next button. On this screen, the installer is asking whether to start the service automatically after installation or not. I will choose Yes. Click Next. Click on Install and allow few minutes for the installation to complete. As you can see, our installation is completed successfully. Let's proceed further by clicking Done. Now let's see if our repository service is running. As you can see, it is currently in running state. Let's open the web browser and we'll try to access the repository manager URL. Log in using the default credentials, that is AO admin and admin123. Now, as you can see, our repository manager is successfully installed and working. Now let's see how we can access the embedded RSSO console deployed with our repository instance. This is the URL format for RSSO. Basically, this is the FQDN of repository server followed by your repository startup port /RSSO/admin. Use the default credential to log in RSSO. click on Login. As you can see, RSSO is also successfully working.